Arin, what's behind this trend?
Hey Casey, hey Marissa. So I'm standing outside of UAlbany, where I spoke with a student who now goes to this SUNY school after her small private college shut down last year. I also spoke with SUNY Chancellor John King about what he thinks is bringing more students to the public system.
What could be next when it comes to heart health? Arin, what'd you learn?
Casey, Marissa, thank you so much for having me. So I got to see Maria Paredes Espinosa's research up close, and I can tell you it is fascinating. She's creating mini human hearts for medical research, and it's all inspired by her own personal story. Take a look.
Arin Cotel-Altman joins us now from Warren County with more on that. Arin?
Hey Casey, so here's what's going on. The fiscal year for the Warren County Head Start programs starts December 1st. So back then in 2024, they received 50% of their federal grant funding. Now the executive director tells me sometime between January and March, they typically receive that other 50%, the rest of that grant funding. Well, we're in April now and they have still yet to receive the money.
All right, so 1 case and then 6 gallons.
It's been days since residents of this small upstate New York village have had usable water. A state of emergency in Whitehall remains in effect, along with a boil water emergency and water conservation restrictions.
Still an ongoing investigation to try to figure out the totality of the problem. You know, the reservoir is a little bit lower. Within each system that's aging infrastructure, they're making sure that there aren't any ongoing leaks or cracks or breaks or anything that may have been part of a system from 80 to 100 years ago that now needs to get rectified in a way that makes sense for current conditions.
So in the back of the truck? Yeah. All right.
The water's not safe to drink. The state says the issue is still under investigation, but there is water distribution available as well as water delivery.
Yeah, it's something else. I've never been through it before. I grew up in the country. You know, we had well water, so we never ran out.
New York State is providing members of the incident management team to support the response to the ongoing water shortage, and the Red Cross and local fire departments are coming together to help.
And it's really difficult to just go use the bathroom or wash plates or even make food because it's a lot of mess. And when it's a lot of members in the family, it's more difficult.
Whitehall's mayor says they are working on short and long-term solutions for this water issue. Arin Cotel-Altman, Spectrum News.
Might be perfect for you.
Everybody has a different rock bottom.
I can be sure. I can be safe.
As a musician, it was one of the few professions that you could be drunk at, that you could be high at. You know, you blend it in.
If you could spit me out.
There was a lot of time where I didn't care if I lived or died until I almost got my wish, so to speak.
With every note she sings, Erin Harks is reminded of her hard work. She's now 14 years sober.
But now what I do is when I'm on stage, I just use it as an example of why I should never drink again. I'm constantly being given examples.
Her passion for performing goes beyond the stage. She's also the first female editor-in-chief of Metroland Now.
So we're all just going to kind of pitch in wherever we can.
It's a popular arts publication that was recently brought back after being out of circulation for almost a decade. And as a woman in charge, she's making sure her voice is heard on and off stage.
I'd like to get everything by Wednesday. I mean, obviously, as a woman, I want to see us rule the world someday. And I've seen firsthand through comedy and music and now in publishing and every walk of life how much more difficult it can be for a woman.
She says a big part of the solution is helping the next generation. Like Lulu. Over the last 9 months, Erin's brought her to the recording studio, helped her with songwriting, and even shared the stage.
Thank you for inspiring me to write a new song.
Yeah. I have unfortunately been exposed to men that didn't want to just help my career. And so I feel like it's important for more women to do more mentorship just to eliminate some of those issues.
Through her sobriety, Arin has not only found her voice, but is helping others find theirs. Arin Cotel-Altman, Spectrum News.
The torpedo came in 3 parts. Up at the front, there was the dynamite.
Nick Popolizio is a World War II veteran.
Just take the 3 parts, put them together.
He was just a teenager when he was drafted to fight.
I never was away from home.
But this story isn't about Nick. It's about the man behind the camera.
Okay, and now look at the camera.
Don Scott is a veteran himself who's documenting the stories of those who fought in Vietnam and World War II.
I believe it was a quote from a mother, a Gold Star mother. Dying for your country isn't the worst thing that can happen to you. Being forgotten is. And tilt your head down a little bit.
But Don isn't just documenting history. He's bringing it to life. After he does interviews and photo shoots with these veterans, he paints them.
Yeah, once you start doing it and you get to know these guys, you almost feel obligated, to capture their stories so they don't get lost, Because every one of these guys, they were there when history was made, and they all have a different perspective, a different little piece of the puzzle.
Don always includes an aspect of their military past, whatever they want to be remembered for.
Rosie, he went on an honor flight. When he put his paperwork in, they told him, we see you're a Bronze Star recipient. He goes, no, I'm not. I never received a Bronze Star. He goes, my dad would have been so proud of this. So I said, well, we'll make sure everybody knows you have a Bronze Star, Rosie.
And after the paintings are finished, Don gets them on display in museums across the country.
You can go down to Battleship Cove. They've got some, beautiful ships there. But that's not the story. The story is the men who served on those ships. Without them, they're just a piece of metal.
With every brushstroke and every story.
And 2 years they trained for that division.
Don knows he's educating future generations and honoring those who didn't make it home.
These gentlemen, everyone will tell you, every single guy that I've painted will say the same thing. I am not a hero. I don't like being called a hero. It's not me. It's the men and women who never make it back home. They're the heroes.
Arin Cotel-Altman, Spectrum News.
Anyone, it seems, can take a picture these days. For one, our phones all have cameras, but to be a great photographer takes a special eye. Our Seth Voorhees met an immigrant from the Middle East who's also a photojournalist, chasing his American dream. It's hard to believe we're almost halfway through August, and I'm one of those people that's trying to sneak in all the summer fun while I still can. So we went to talk to the experts. So I know I'm about to make a lot of people very upset, but I love Peeps. They're cute, they're tasty, they're colorful, so it's no wonder they are the most popular Easter candy in the country. A big election is taking place here in New York this fall, one that could determine the fate of hundreds of millions of dollars of state casino revenue. The Seneca Nation of Indians is set to elect a new president, and Thursday the first candidate announced his intent to run.